Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 5 of Bloomington Buddies, season 3. Please welcome producer Jackson again in the new room. This is the best room, I think.
It's a lot of fun. I like being in here. Yeah, it's here. Let me
there, just so I can see
over
it
for you.
There it is. All right. Now, we have a lot to talk about. We're going to start off with some... I don't normally talk about the NBA a lot. That's more of Eddie's thing. But big trade just went down. We're going to talk about that first. Then I want to talk about the Bears and Cubs because they're both pissing me off. And then we'll spend the rest of the time talking about college football because that's really what you all are here for. But Damian Lillard is going to the Bucks in a 3-team deal between the Suns, Bucks, and Blazers. I'll give you all the deets. Basically, so Milwaukee's getting Damian Lillard. Portland is receiving Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, and Toumani Camara, and Milwaukee's 2029 unprotected first-round draft pick and unprotected Milwaukee swap rights in 2028 and 2030.
So far in advance. I don't know, how they came down to these specific details, just because it's, like you said, right before we started recording, it's 6 years, 7 years until all these deals are going to finally come to fruition.
And then the Suns get Yusuf Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nasir Little, and Keon Johnson. Okay. Part of the reason, here's the thing, the picks, the 2029 and then the 2028, 2023 rights to swap, I think what Portland's mindset is hey, after Acampo and Lillard decline, the Bucks are going to be bad in 2020, those 3 years. And so they're saying we might have a chance to really get some good players with those picks in the future as opposed to them being late first. Like if it's a next year's first, it'll be a late first because the Bucks are probably going to be really good. So I get the mindset with wanting the picks to be later. I actually think it's pretty smart.
Yeah.
I think the clear loser in this, though, is the Suns. You're getting rid of DeAndre Ayton, I guess, because they paid him too much money. They paid DeAndre Ayton too much money. They kind of had to get rid of him. Mm-hmm. But, Yusuf Nurkic, Grayson Allen, and Nasir Little, those are three... I mean, Nurkic is okay. Grayson Allen is okay. I've never even heard of Nasir Little. That just doesn't seem like enough for DeAndre Ayton.
I mean, it just maybe seems like probably not really the beginning stages of a rebuild or anything, but maybe just kind of trying to change things up, see what they can do, maybe with different coaches and in a different environment, different teammates and all that, they'll be able to build each other up and turn it into something even better,
Even with I even think that the Bucks, I mean, giving up Drew Holiday's a really good player. I don't know. He fit really well with that Bucks organization. Mm-hmm. I think Portland made it out of this trade really well, though. Drew Holiday and DeAndre Ayton, those are two really good players that I think are going to compensate for Damian Lillard being gone. I think Portland did perfectly fine in this trade. And the Bucks getting Damian Lillard, I mean, I guess they're the favorites to win the East now.
I would imagine so. I mean, with that kind of 1-2 punch of him and Giannis, I would imagine that would, honestly, it may even put them in a finals contender spot, possibly.
I mean, the one thing I worry about, though, is, are they going to clash? Are they both just going to want the ball too much?
I don't think so.
A Harden, Westbrook kind of... when they were both on the Rockets.
Giannis is a very humble player.
Yeah.
So, he will do whatever it takes, honestly, for the team. So I don't think that they'll have that clash,
I would say...
I think they'll be able to work well together. I think they'll have a good dynamic.
To recap this trade, Bucks winners, Portland winners, Suns losers. I think the Suns really caught the short end of the stick here, if you ask me.
Possibly. But, I mean, they still got Chris Paul. So, I mean, it's I
mean, maybe.
With how far he was able to carry that team,
I guess, but the Suns are just always going to collapse.
They got KD, they got Chris Paul, so I mean.
But they'll still lose in the playoffs because of the Suns. Because that's just what they always do. Okay. We got to talk about the Cubs, man, because what happened yesterday is just absolutely unacceptable. The Cubs, coming off of a sweep over the Rockies, 6-0, 6-3, 4-3. They won all 3 games at home against the Rockies. Those were their final home games. They got to go on the road. They got 3 against the Braves, 3 against the Brewers. They needed to play their best ball. And what did they do in that game? Well, they came out and were up 6-0 on them. I mean, they were up 6-0 in the 6th. And then it just all fell to pieces once the bullpen came out. I mean, holy cow. This cannot happen again. It just cannot happen again. I mean, the Braves scored 3 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th. It's just no one could get an out in those last couple of innings. I'm trying to find the pitching. Yeah, Justin Steele gave up 3 and 5 1/3. Kwas pitched 2/3 of an inning. They should have kept him out for another inning, but Assad gave up 2 runs. Drew Smiley, I mean, it just wasn't great. And the D-backs were down big against the Sox and came all the way back to win. I don't know. I mean, that was the first time I've ever put my hopes in the Sox. My God, they're terrible. I don't know why I would ever put my hopes and dreams in the White Sox hands. And the only reason that Miami didn't catch up to the Cubs, Miami was a game back, is because their game against the Mets got canceled. So I'm pretty sure they play 2 against the Mets today. I am going to fact check this.
There was something that I saw about...
Yeah, today. Today they play at 4:10 and at 7:10 in New York. The Mets need to come up huge, man. The Mets need to come... Because if the Cubs lose and Miami wins both those games, they're a game up.
To kind of go off topic a little bit... Sorry, I didn't even cut the camera then. But basically, I was looking on Twitter today, and I saw a post. It was basically just outlining every single thing that has to go right for the Padres today in order for them to still be considered for the playoffs. They're basically out at this point because it's they either need to win, they need to win. I think it was the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks need to lose. It was a whole bunch of different scenarios where it was It was crazy. I'll have to find it at some point and come back to you later. But I just thought that was crazy. There was at least 4 different things on the list where it's if even just one of these things happens, they're out.
Yeah,
it's hysterical.
New York, the Mets need to come. Oh my God, I've been putting my faith in the Mets and the White Sox. This is not gonna come off well, man. How do you rebound after a game like that? After losing a 6-0 lead? How do you rebound from a game like that? I don't know how you do it. Who throws tonight? I need to see.
For the Cubs?
Yeah, who's throwing tonight?
Let me see.
Oh, it's Jameson Taillon, bro.
Jameson
Oh my God, he's got an
Taillon.
ERA of 5 this year. Fuck.
Former New York Yankee, man.
Oh my God. Who's pitching for the Braves? Darius Vines with a 4.4. The Braves don't even need to win either. 720. Lock it down, please. Because I will say the Mets need to win at least one game tonight. Because here's the thing. If the Mets win one, if they split and the Cubs lose, we're tied.
Mm-hmm.
If the best case scenario, the Cubs win and the Marlins lose both. If that happens, we are, I think, two games up.
Okay.
So if that happens tonight, we're clean sailing pretty much. But even if we lose, the Mets got to come through, man. Because Miami's just hung around this whole year. I mean, I was waiting for the bottom to kind of drop off on them, but the bottom dropped off on the Reds before that happened. The Reds are kind of out of it, I would say.
It's getting close, man.
I don't know. They're a game and a half. It could still...
they're only a game and a half behind. I mean,
I'm not really worried about the Reds.
They're 2 places away from being eliminated. So San Francisco would have to be eliminated first, and San Diego would have to be eliminated for them before they're finally on the chopping block.
And, of course, the Diamondbacks are still playing the Sox. They're up 3-0 in the 4th currently. Man, I'm going to be score watching during my softball game tonight. Holy cow, I can't. They have to make the playoffs, dude. For my sanity, they have to make the playoffs. Miami has a minus 51 run differential. The Cubs are at plus 100. And half a game separates them. Oh, my goodness. It's okay. Hopefully the offense could come to play tonight against a Braves team that doesn't have to win, but they definitely will at least try to because they're the Braves.
Yeah, it's going to come down. Here's the thing. What we might need to do, Sunday, October 1st is the last day of the season. And I think Tuesday, October 3rd is the first day of the playoffs.
So we might need to film
so.
an emergency Bloomington Buddies for playoff predictions.
I can see what I can do. I'll see if I can try and get something this weekend.
We'll see. But, hey, they're still in it. They're still in it. It's a 3-team race for 2 spots. Hopefully they just don't get the short end of the stick there. We can talk more about this later down the road, but Cubs, you guys got to come through. My sanity cannot handle it. And the reason I'm putting all my chips in the Cubs basket, is because I am so sick and damn tired of the Bears, bro. I'm so sick and tired of the Bears. You might need to get that soundboard ready because
I'm about to go off. I'm about to go off. This team's awful. They're awful. They were by far and away the worst team from last week in the NFL. I think they were by far the worst team. And this is coming in the same week where a team let up 70 points. In a week where a team gave up 70 points. You're the laughingstock of the league. You're the laughingstock of the league. Oh, my goodness. The only reason I've seen memes that are like the only reason that people aren't talking more about the Bears is because Taylor Swift was at the Chiefs game. Yeah, and the Bears got absolutely ran through in front of Taylor Swift. That was I get it's the Chiefs. Yeah, I didn't think they would win, but to be down 34-0 at half and not even look like you're trying, that's just unacceptable.
They looked like they were on pace to be down 70 by the end of the game.
The Chiefs could have hung 70 if they wanted to. Like, the thing about the Broncos game is the Broncos gave up 70 that offense. It was real funny. It was the most points the team was given up in, like, forever. But it was, like, 27-14 at half. It was, like, a competitive game, and Miami kind of just ran it up when it didn't really matter. This game was over by the end of the first quarter.
Yeah.
The Chiefs could have hung 70 if they wanted to. They put in IU. Didn't they put in IU legend Nate Sudfeld?
I think so.
Oh, my God, that's so embarrassing. And every person is up in arms with a different thing that they need to do. Because currently they hold the number 1 and number 2 picks in the draft. But what do they need to do to fix it? And everyone is saying get rid of Fields and get someone new. That's not the answer. I'm telling you right now, it's not the answer. Because... oh, well, Caleb Williams is so good. Caleb Williams is this. Caleb Williams is that. This, that. It's a coaching problem. If you keep the same coaches, and I swear to God, if the Bears keep all the same coaches and draft Caleb Williams, I'm losing my mind more than I already am right now, because it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be the exact same thing if you keep the coaches and draft Caleb Williams. Because my friend Jimmy was telling me, he's like, oh, well, Caleb Williams is so much better than Justin Fields. Is he? Is he? I'm telling you right now, I was more impressed with Justin Fields in college than I am with Caleb Williams right now. Caleb Williams, I think he'll be all right. He's not going to be a world-changing quarterback like everyone says he's going to be. You have to get rid of the coaches, all of them. Offensive coordinator. They already got rid of the defensive coordinator because, I don't know, the FBI got involved there. I'm not even gonna go into that because that's just a whole other world. DC was fired. Luke Getsy needs to get the hell out now. I cannot wait for the day he is fired. I'm celebrating the day that Luke Getsy is fired. I'm celebrating the day Matt Eberflus is fired. These guys have no idea what they're doing. And yeah, okay, Fields is missing guys that are wide open. Who cares? The play calling is so bad. They have no idea what they're doing. It's gotten to the point. I hope they play the Broncos. I hope the Broncos roll them by 40. I hope they lose so the coach gets fired. I don't even want them to win anymore. I need to get this season over with, and the sooner that they're fired, the sooner we can find somebody else. If they need to fire everyone, get an offensive-minded, either offensive-minded coordinator or offensive-minded head coach to work with Fields, and draft more people around him. If they just give up on Fields and draft Caleb Williams, I'm going insane. because there's too much talent with Justin Fields to throw it away. There's too much talent. There's too much. He's the most talent-wise, he's the best quarterback the Bears have ever had. The Bears have never had someone that can throw the ball as far. They've ever had someone who can run as fast at the quarterback position. They can't just get rid of it. They can't. They can't. It would be a waste, the biggest waste in NFL history if they get rid of him. Do you have anything that, like, do you disagree with anything I said? I'm gonna post this clip on my YouTube channel. If you guys aren't familiar with Jackson, he's a Colts fan.
Oh yeah.
But my God, they're terrible. I'm so sick of the Bears. I hope they lose every game this year so we get a good pick and we have reason to fire everybody.
Sorry about fumbling those sound effects there. If you heard it there on your end in the audience, this board can be a little bit tricky sometimes. But
you played it.
It played through on the the board there, but sometimes we can't hear it. Here, let me try that again real quick. But yeah, that rant was beautiful. That was good.
I'm so sick of them. That's why I'm not even watching the rest of the year. I'm just focusing on the Cubs.
It's like I can never really get mad as a Colts fan though, because like every time that I go to watch the Bears, it's like, oh well, at least I'm not a Bears fan. It's like, and I feel bad for you every single time. Here, let me get you one more. There we go. That's a great rant right there, buddy.
The Bears are the worst team in the league. Let's talk about college football.
Alrighty, let's do it.
So, I know you want to get going about Ohio State, and I know you want to say. I'll just let you lead off with your thoughts on the Ohio State Notre Dame game.
My whole thing when it comes to Ohio State is just simply like they won. Okay, great. Everyone and their mother is acting like they just defeated Nick Saban in Alabama. They're acting like they just took down Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs right now, you know? Like, Ryan Day saying that, oh, it's Ohio State against the world. It's always been Ohio State against the world. Bullshit. Vegas had you guys winning this game. You're the higher-ranked team. Yeah, you're on the road, but you're the higher-ranked team. You absolutely demolished this exact same team last year. There are expectations for you to do the exact same thing this year. And I don't understand where he's getting this narrative of it's Ohio State against the world.
I guess it's just because the majority of the public picked Notre Dame. Like, I did not see very many people picking Ohio State. I guess that's where he's going.
I just don't understand where this whole mentality came from. Like, okay, if you want to say that from the past week, say that it's about the past week. But in the quotes that he's given, both like directly after the game on the sideline and in the post-game press conference and everything that he was saying, he's like, it's always been Ohio State against the world. Bullshit. Just this time last year in Columbus, everyone across the panel everyone had you guys winning in Michigan, Ohio State. Everyone. Like, it drives me crazy because it's just like, you're just making stuff up at this point to make yourself look better and to make your team look better, you know? Like, yeah, they're a great football team. Ohio State is a great football team. I'm a Michigan fan, and I flat out admit, yeah, Ohio State's a great football team. But, like, everyone is acting like they just absolutely stomped them. They're absolutely national title contenders. It was a close game, and they won on the final play of the game because Notre Dame had 10 guys on the field.
Yeah.
For the final 2 plays. Yeah, the drive itself was good. It was impressive. It was whatever. But, like, everyone's just acting like they just overcame. They were David, and everybody else is Goliath. Like, they're just, pisses me off.
The first thing that Ryan Day was talking about is what Lou Holtz was saying before the game. Lou Holtz was like, because basically what Lou Holtz has said is he's lost to Michigan, he's lost to Clemson, he's lost to Alabama, he's lost to all these teams, and the reason is because they're not physical, they're not this, they're not that. And that's something that I've said in the past about Ryan Day. I'll say this, though. Ryan Day doesn't give a shit about what anyone thinks in terms of what he said after that game. I think for the betterment of his team, he needed to say that.
Yeah.
He needed to say that to fire up his team. And I'm sure he was saying that all throughout the week. And you know what? Sometimes having that underdog mentality can get you a win. I mean, it was a really good game. I was incredibly impressed. As for the actual game, I was incredibly impressed with Ohio State's defense. This is a unit that I think everyone knew was really good. But, I mean, holding Notre Dame scoreless in the first half to only 14 points the entire game. McCord, once again, did not look great.
That's my thing.
Here's the thing. He led a great drive, and I put a low reaction video on my channel, and when Kyle McCord stood up on the like bench and was I said Kyle McCord acting like he's a good quarterback. I had so many Ohio State fans. How can you say that after the drive he just had? How can you do this, that? I'm like, because it didn't look good the rest of the game. Like, he was 21 of 37 for 240 yards.
I think I think so. I think that was about what it was.
I will say this. That drive could give him the confidence he needs to have a great rest of the season. It's still early. He can definitely turn it around.
I hate to point this part out, but he almost threw that entire last drive away. He got very fucking lucky because he almost threw an interception there in that final drive of the game. Yeah, a lot of luck goes into football. A lot of luck comes into it, but if that ball's picked off, we're having the exact opposite conversation right now. We're talking about how Notre Dame is a national championship contender right now because they took down Ohio State,
Speaking of,
I don't even like Notre Dame.
Speaking of Notre Dame, you blew it, man. You blew it. I'm sorry. I hate to say it. You had that game right within you had them right where you wanted it, and you blew it. You blew it. How do you have 10 guys on the field for not just the last play, the last two plays?
The last two plays of the game.
When they converted that fourth and 19, they get down to the 1 yard line. How do you let that happen?
It was crazy.
How do you have 10 people on the field? Oh my God!
If
I'm a Notre Dame fan, I'm furious.
Oh my God,
dude, they should have won that game.
The coaching in the final minute was just like, what are we doing? You're letting them walk away with this game. What are we doing right now? And it just,
I don't know.
Obviously, I'm biased. Everyone knows I'm biased about this.
Well,
whole thing.
I am too.
But,
I don't really like Notre Dame,
and I don't even like Notre Dame either. Is the thing? It's like, I don't like either of these teams, but I would have much rather seen Notre Dame win that game. But
here's the thing. So Ohio State's got 2 games. They got Maryland and Purdue. They'll win both those, and then they got Penn State at home.
Yeah.
I want to talk about.
Be tough for Penn State.
I want to talk about.
Penn State's gonna have a hard time with that game.
Okay. I want to talk about the other big game real quick. All the Colorado bandwagon fans, like all the people that just ride Deion Sanders. Have y'all heard from any of them this week? Because that was embarrassing. I'm sorry. That was embarrassing.
It was bad.
I get that Oregon's because from what I've been hearing is, Oregon's a top 10 team. Oregon's this, Oregon's that. And yeah, Oregon's a really good team. You guys are walking in like y'all were king of the world. There are clips of Colorado players before that game. Oh, what's in Oregon? They're scuffing up the logo. We go beat y'all down. This, that. They got punched in the mouth.
Right off the bat.
Knocked out the whole 42. It was 42-0 at the end of the third. Oregon could have hung 70. If they could have. That Dan Lanning, I think Dan Lanning deserves a lot of props for this game for the way he was able to fire up his team before that game. Talking about how, hey, he's like, they're looking for attention, we're looking for wins. And I think there's something to be said about that. Because that was flat out embarrassing. And like the sides were there, man. I thought they would cover the 21 just because I really thought they had it in them. But my goodness, that was absolutely embarrassing. And I don't know if they're going to be able to, because at the start of the season, I said that they might be okay, but they're not going to be able to hang with the big guys of the Pac-12. And then they looked good the first 3 weeks, and I was like, oh, they might be able to hang with the big guys of the Pac-12. No.
It all came down to the defense. The defense,
defense is awful.
First 3 weeks, you could tell, they're giving up 42 points to TCU,
And this isn't just Travis Hunter being hurt. Travis Hunter is not preventing 42 points by himself. They gave up 42 to TCU with Travis Hunter.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think it would have really made much of a difference going into this game if they had Travis Hunter. So, I mean, just overall, that defense needs to be it has improvements that need to be done, you know.
Unless
And
they somehow beat USC, which I don't think they will.
if they beat USC, that'll be the biggest upset probably in the history of college football.
If they somehow
Probably.
beat USC, but they won't. You won't hear from Colorado the rest of the year. You just won't.
And the thing is about that, I actually had a conversation about this. I was just doing a like sportscasting like panel thing this morning, and we were talking about this. And basically, even if we don't really hear much for the rest of the season about Colorado, this season you can't deny is undoubtedly a success for them.
Oh yeah,
you cannot doubt that whatsoever.
I'm not saying it's not. It's
no,
just
no. I'm just saying like in generalities.
They got a little too cocky. They got a lot too cocky.
But I mean, at the same time, it also, that's one of the positives from this season is that Coach Prime was able to build this national brand for his team.
I think in the
that
coming
they
years
had
will be good.
none of the year before. The year before, they were probably the worst team in college football. And now all of a sudden they're beating the former national champion finalist.
Yeah.
They won two major just rival games, you know? So like even if the rest of the season doesn't pan out, as long as they finish above 500 in my opinion and make a bowl game,
They should.
that's a huge win for a season. It's huge for them.
Give Dion a few recruiting classes and he'll have this team in the top 10.
He probably could.
Just give him a few recruiting classes, but
just looking at how they're playing right now, like maybe even next year could be a huge difference maker, you know? Because he's told Shadur, he's like, you're not going to the NFL. Like if you get drafted this year, you're not going to the NFL. You're coming back to play for me.
Yeah,
So.
Shadur looked pretty bad. All right,
Yeah.
I mean other games, Utah beat UCLA 14-7. I mean Utah. That's basically exactly what I said. They would clamp up Dante Moore. Bama rebounded against Ole Miss.
That was one that I think I had Ole Miss winning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll talk about the records here in a second.
I was feeling good about it, but then as soon as the
Oregon
game
State,
started.
Washington State. Washington State took them down 38-35. That was a terrific game. I don't know if you watched any of that.
I saw bits and pieces of it. Yeah, it was a really good game.
Washington State is up to 16th in the country. And I don't even really have an argument with that. They've played some really good ball.
Yeah.
So, if you look at the rankings, there are, I don't know if you know this or not, guess how many teams received first place votes in the AP poll.
Oh, Lord. I have no clue. How many teams received first place votes? I'm going to go with 8 teams.
Okay, not that many.
No, not that many?
There was 6, but I don't know if I've ever seen a week where like more than 3 get first place votes. Georgia got 55 of them.
Okay.
Michigan got 1. Texas got 2. Ohio State got 1. I know you're not the face he's
It's whatever. You know, I know that nobody's going to vote Michigan the number 1 overall team besides that one guy. It was me, so.
It was 3 people put Florida State, which
Okay.
1 person put Washington.
1 person put Washington. Okay. That's probably Joel
So,
Klatt, honestly. He was talking about, I was listening to his show earlier today, and he was basically saying how he thinks Washington is like a national title contender.
I wouldn't even disagree with that.
Like, they're really, really good, obviously. I don't disagree with that, you know, but he had it, like, his order that he had it was like, Georgia is obvious, and then he started talking about Washington right after that. I was like, whoa.
I saw at the IU Akron game, I saw a guy with an IU Michael Penix jersey.
Oh, my God.
I thought that was pretty cool.
That's pretty good.
I feel like other people are like, oh, he's a traitor. I'm glad that he's actually having success elsewhere.
It's cool, man. It's
Jalen
cool.
Lucas will be doing the same thing next year when he transfers because, oh my God, this team is bad.
I was going to say, it just goes to show, though, that, like, you know, Tom Allen may not.
Do we want to talk about
He may not have a
Akron
bad
game?
eye for recruiting. It's just he's not a great coach.
Yeah.
He's a good recruiter, but he's just not a good coach.
I don't even know if he's a good recruiter.
Like, that's a stretch, obviously, for me to say that, you know. But, like, every now and again, he'll find a really good player. And obviously right now, just with hindsight, we can see, you know. So
Yeah, I was at the IU game. I left at half for extenuating circumstances. Because I'm like, oh, they'll just blow out Akron in the second half. You needed 4 overtimes to chop that tree down. 4 overtimes to chop down a 1-3 Akron.
It was not good.
Tava
It was
Jackson,
not good.
11 of 26. Ugh. I don't even know.
It's a bad football team.
Nah,
It's a bad football team.
We're bad.
That's
Maybe
why we have to rebound with all these other teams.
only game that matters is Purdue. Only game that matters. Hey,
We have
should've
bragging
lost to
rights then the
Northwestern.
rest of the year. So,
Minnesota lost to Northwestern, so at least we're not that.
at least we're not Northwestern. There we go.
Yeah. Well, hey, Northwestern also won this week, though, so we'll see. They also get to play the Big Ten West. I hate the fact that Purdue gets to play the Big Ten West and we have to play the Big Ten East. Like, that's so unfair. Like, put us in the same position.
Purdue's as bad as we are. They should have to suffer just like we do.
They should. they literally should. All right.
I know
It's pick time. Both of us disagreed on okay, for the games we agreed upon, we pretty much got them all right.
Let's go. Yes, sir.
We both went 23-3 this week.
Fuck yeah. That means I'm still in the lead, right?
The games that I got wrong were Ohio State, Notre Dame. I picked Notre Dame. I got. Hold on. I need to look back at the scores. I got Oregon State, Washington State wrong.
Mhm.
Jackson picked Washington State. I picked Oregon State. And then there was one more, I think. I'm just looking through scores.
What was
Trying to find
it?
it. You picked, the one you got wrong was you picked UCLA over Utah.
Okay.
What else did we have?
Yeah, Utah's
you
really
picked you
good.
picked Ole Miss over Bama.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
And then I got one more wrong. I
didn't think Saban had it in him to bounce back after.
Oh, I got BYU and Kansas wrong. I picked BYU and Kansas won.
Okay.
So I'm sitting at 73-21. Jackson is sitting at 74-20 on the year. We're a
neck and neck, man.
We're just about 75% for games. A little over that clip because we're not at 100 games picked yet. Or wait, we should be.
The past few weeks, we've only disagreed on like a handful of games, really.
Yeah. All right. I got the slate set. I did it in class today. I just marked the games down.
All right.
First one, Friday night. I think this is an incredibly hard game to pick. Friday night, Utah at Oregon State.
Yeah. Utah screwed me over last week. I picked against them. And I picked against Oregon State and they lost though, I think. I'm probably going to go with they're on the road against Oregon State. I'm going to go with Utah still.
I am taking Oregon State because I think that them losing to Washington State could definitely just be considered a trap game because they're looking ahead to Utah.
And I'm not saying Oregon State's bad or anything like that. They're still a really good team.
I think they're going to come out. I think they're going to come out and perform at home.
Do we know what the spread is for this one?
Give me a second. The spread is. I just clicked off of it. Utah or Oregon State's favored by 3.
Oregon State 3.5. I have. Looks like.
Mine says 3. I think Oregon State wins. I don't disagree.
Well, that's
with
like
that.
for mine.
I
It's
don't
like
disagree with
BetMGM
that
and
line at
DraftKings
all.
and FanDuel and all those. So
All right, next one.
I'll go with Utah.
Also on Friday, Louisville at NC State. Louisville is favored by 3.
I think I'm gonna go with Louisville for that one.
They took down Boston College 56-28. I don't want to pick Louisville because they did not look good against IU. If y'all watched that game, the second half, Louisville was awful and probably should have lost. I don't really trust NC State though. I mean, I'm gonna take Louisville, and I think a pretty high scoring game.
I mean, yeah, if you just look at all of their games except for the IU game, which is, again, just a shocker. But, yeah, if you look at all their other games, I mean, they're putting up 39 points, 56 points. So,
Yeah.
I mean, their offense is definitely something to be afraid of. So,
All right.
I'm going to go with Louisville.
Next, we got Penn State at Northwestern. I don't even know why I put that on there.
Never know, man. Never know. Give me Penn State.
It's definitely. All right. USC, Colorado. I'm just going to list off some stats here. Colorado is averaging 353 passing yards a game. That's really good.
Yeah.
They're averaging 55 yards a game on the ground. And on defense, they are averaging giving up 475 yards
Holy
a game.
shit.
200. They're averaging giving up 269 through the air, 209 on the ground.
Defense is so bad.
I think not even just, here's the thing, USC's defense is not great either. Like, they're also giving up 364 a game, 136 on the ground. And this is not even that I think USC is still kind of overrated. That offense is going to tear up that defense. I'm sorry.
I mean, give me USC, obviously, but
21 and a half is the spread at home. I honestly think USC covers it. I don't know. I think
they can most definitely cover that. 21 and a half?
From what I saw last week, give me USC.
This is what it goes to show that, Colorado lost last week finally, but, they're still a hot market team because tickets are as low as $169.
Yeah.
For this game.
Well,
so, they're still a really hot ticket.
If they win, they're back in the national discussion. They're back in the Pac-12 discussion.
They could honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if they maybe crack the top 15 probably.
With because win would go a long way.
Oh my God, if they somehow won this game, I would say they're at least in the top 15 because at that point, it's they lost only to Oregon, which were they number 8 this year or last week?
They were in the top 10.
They were in the top 10, yeah. But yeah, they lost against a top 10 team, but then they beat a top 10 team. So it's okay, they got to still be ranked at least, All
right, next game on the board is Texas A&M and Arkansas. This is a neutral site game. They always play in Dallas.
Yeah.
A&M's favored by 6.5.
I'm going to go with the Aggies. Partly because I don't really know. I mean, I know they're 3-1 this year, I think.
I'm going with Arkansas because every single year, especially in recent memory, A&M's just overrated, and they're overrated again this year. Not even that Arkansas is that great. I just think they'll win. Arkansas held their own against at LSU. I just think that they're going to come out in this rivalry game and win. I'm not really impressed with. They beat a bad Auburn team 27-10, but I think Arkansas wins this one. This is they'll show out, I think, for this game especially. So I'm going to take Arkansas. Next one is Clemson at Syracuse. A 4-0 Syracuse team and a 2-2 Clemson team.
4-0? They haven't really played anyone.
The FPI percentage is actually 55% for Syracuse.
Seriously? They have Syracuse.
Clemson's favored by 6.5 in the Vegas line. I'm going back and forth about this one.
They have Syracuse at 55% to win the game?
Yeah. I'm going to take Clemson, though. I mean, I know we didn't touch on the Clemson-Florida State game, but Clemson came out with a fire. They needed to win that game, and they didn't, but they did hold it close for a while. They're still a good team. I think they're better than Syracuse. I think they'll beat Syracuse.
I would have to agree. I think I'm going to go with Clemson as well, but I will keep my eye on that game because if they say that Syracuse is going to...
The FBI also has Oklahoma as second in its rankings. So
oh, God. Okay.
I would take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah. Give me Clemson.
Next game is Georgia at Auburn. Just because it's at Auburn... I think they hang around because that's just such an incredibly hard place to play.
It is.
And Georgia hasn't looked as good this year as last. But I still think that they'll win.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Georgia for that one. I don't really see them fumbling the ball with this one.
The spread is 14.5.
I don't think they look as great as they normally have. I don't know if they're going to do a three-peat. I don't know if they can.
I don't know if this team has it, man. I don't know. I shouldn't say that.
I've talked a lot of shit about Stetson Bennett, but who knows? He may have been the key for that team.
Carson Beck is, I don't know. There was a post of him being just in the trenches with what he was saying to this one girl, bro. I was like, holy cow, you need to stop. It was so weird. Anyway, maybe we'll see. Michigan at Nebraska.
I've seen people weirdly give this game give Nebraska some props in this game, which obviously they're at home and everything, but I don't think it's gonna be close at all. I'm sorry, go blue.
Jackson has picked the road team in every game.
That's
so
what I've
far.
noticed so far. I was looking at all these games. I'm like, God damn, I'm like picking all the road teams so far. I don't think anybody at home I've picked. So
All right. Kansas at Texas.
you picked Nebraska for that one. Or,
No, I pick. Oh,
okay,
Michigan.
'cause-
Michigan's gonna win. Nebraska sucks. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I don't care. That
I
they're
thought
at home.
you.
I
okay.
don't care that they're at home.
When
They're
you
a bad
when you
team.
said that, I thought that meant you were taking Nebraska. I was like, what the hell?
No, Nebraska's they're bad. They're bad.
Yeah,
They're bad.
they're bad. They're bad.
They only scored 10 points on a bad Colorado defense.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Kansas, a ranked Kansas,
Yeah.
a 24 ranked Kansas
Good for them.
at Texas.
Good for them, but it's probably going to go away this week. Give me Texas. First home game. I'm
home
picking
team.
for the week.
I agree. I think Texas. Texas absolutely put a beating on Baylor. Baylor's every year there's like a few teams that I feel like I make fun of like too much. Baylor's one of them, at least for this year's edition of teams that Quincy's made fun of a lot. That was embarrassing. It was like 38-6 at home night game. I expected better from Baylor. I know they weren't that great, but I expected them to at least come out with a fight. They couldn't even do that. All right, next one is IU at Maryland.
What's Maryland done? I mean, I know
I'm telling you, man, Maryland's my.
they're 4-0. God damn, I didn't even
I
realize.
told y'all at the beginning of the year. I said, watch out for Maryland. They're going to be that sleeper team in the Big Ten East. They're going to be. They're going to be. I'll tell you, they're going
If
to
you
beat
look at
somebody.
who they've played, though, like let's not get too excited.
I'm telling you, they will beat someone good.
Give me Maryland though.
Maryland's favored by 14.
Yeah.
That honestly seems low. I think they win pretty big. Next, we love our. I don't know if we really love it, but do we love the Big Ten West?
It's fun to see them, whoever they're going to play in the Big Ten
We
tournament.
have an even line for Illinois at Purdue.
It's even. Oh,
Yeah.
Lord. You know what? Shouts out to West Lafayette. Give me Purdue. I'll take Purdue to win this one.
I agree, because as bad as Purdue is, Purdue's looked really bad this year for anyone that's paid attention. I mean, they're 1-3. They got blown off the board by Syracuse at home. Illinois hasn't looked much better. They have a 2-point win against Toledo. I'm going to take Purdue because they're at home. All right, next, a ranked Missouri.
Yeah?
On the road against Vanderbilt.
What's Vanderbilt been up to this year?
The
2-5.
The usual, just not being a very good team. They've lost three in a row to Wake Forest, UNLV, and Kentucky.
I would say that streak probably continues this week then. I mean, Missouri's been putting up really good numbers offensively.
We'll see what happens
averaging
when
out
they
probably
play.
about 30 points a game. So I would say give me
We'll
Missouri.
wait and see what happens when they play like the cream of the crop in the SEC East. Like when they have to play at Georgia or at Tennessee.
Yeah.
Because they after this game, it's LSU, Kentucky, South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Florida. We'll see how they do. I don't know if I would say that they would do very well, but we'll see how they do.
I almost went to Missouri. So
Yeah, I know a girl that I know. She is she was gonna go into like foods. She has like diabetes, so she's like she wanted to go into food science because like she wanted to make foods that are like safe for people, but like also
Nice.
taste good.
Nice.
And Missouri is one of the like only schools in the country that has food science. So she went there and like completely loved it. They had like so many like great. Missouri is like a great school. Then she went to the actual meeting with like the food science department head. She's like, all right, what do you have here? They like didn't have anything.
really?
Their like actual department was like very lacking. So she went to Purdue.
Okay.
I was disappointed.
That sucks though, just because I mean it sucks because she liked the university itself. I've heard a
She's
lot
like-
of great things.
She's
about
like,
Missouri.
give me something. Do you have like this or this or this? And they're like, no. But yeah, Missouri is also really good with like media and stuff.
Oh yeah, they're the #1 journalism school in the country.
Are they really?
Yep.
Oh, good for them. Good for Missouri.
Good for Mizzou.
You got a decent football team this year, and you're the #1 journalism school in the country.
They're doing well.
All right, what's the next game? Oh, I don't even know why I put this because I needed just another game to fit the board. New Mexico at Wyoming. This is a Wyoming team that is 3-1 with their only loss being a game where they were with Texas in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, and they're at home and everything, so I might have to go with Wyoming for this one. I think I'm going to do that. Yeah. New Mexico's 2-2. Yeah. Lost to A&M 52-10. Wow.
If you're giving up 52 points to that A&M offense, you got a problem.
Yeah, give me Wyoming.
Next, we got Oregon at Stanford.
Coming off a pretty good win against Colorado.
Is there a
letdown
letdown though? Is there a letdown?
I don't see that happening really. I don't see it because
they're favored by 27. How bad is Stanford? Okay,
Stanford is bad.
They lost to Sacramento State.
It's bad.
Man, you're in the Power 5. You can't be losing to Sacramento State.
Give me Oregon.
Oh,
I was taking them all the way, but give me Oregon.
All right. Next one, Iowa State at Oklahoma.
Iowa State at Oklahoma. Give me Oklahoma for that one.
Yeah,
they've been like sneaky in the top the top 25. I haven't really heard much about them
the week
this year.
after they got Texas. Maybe they can hang. Maybe they can hang because I was really kind of down on this Oklahoma team to start the year, but they've taken care of the nobodies that they've played so far.
Yeah, they've taken
Cincinnati's
care.
not a nobody.
73-0.
I'll say
week
this:
1 against Arkansas State.
the defense. Brett Venables is a defensive-minded coach who had a bad defense last year.
Mm-hmm.
Defenses looked pretty good. The most they've given up in a game so far is 17. Their points allowed totals are 0, 11, 17, and 6.
Damn. Yeah, give me Oklahoma.
So
they're at home. Iowa State's not very good.
I am someone that always rags on Oklahoma, but I mean, okay, I don't think we should say anything until they play Texas. But so far, they've been kind of creeping up under the radar.
They've been looking good.
Next, South Carolina at Tennessee.
South Carolina at Tennessee.
I'll just say this right now. Tennessee is winning this game big, and they are absolutely taking out what they should have done last year on South Carolina when South Carolina beat them badly. I'm saying right now, Tennessee takes them and beats them badly.
I'm going to take Tennessee as well. I feel like they're still going to be in like not revenge mode or anything since the loss to Florida, but like it's going to be like trying to get back into that groove and trying to prove themselves.
They got to, man. That game against Florida was embarrassing.
They gotta.
All right, next.
The next few weeks are going to be them, really trying to ramp it up before they have to play Alabama.
Michigan State at Iowa.
This is an interesting game because neither of these teams are very good.
I don't think I would say
Iowa's pretty good, but Michigan State is just bad. I'm going to take Iowa. Give me Cade.
Cade. Iowa did lose 31-0 to the Penn State whiteout. God. Jackson hates
it's the dumbest thing. Every time you bring it up, it pisses me off. I just hate it.
Because he's like, well, every game's a whiteout game.
Every single game's the whiteout game. Every single game.
Well, they got to have one that's the whiteout game.
Oh, yeah, the whiteout game. Just like the Ohio State.
Yeah. All right, what do we got next on the board? Right. We got Pitt at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech and Baylor have been the two teams that I've been making fun of the most because Virginia Tech is, they lost to Marshall, as I predicted correctly, too. I was like, I think they'll probably lose to Marshall. And, they lost to Marshall.
Virginia Tech did?
Yeah. That was a game I think we both got right. I think you also
picked so, yeah.
Actually, though, Pitt is also 1-3, though.
Yeah, Pitt's not very good either. Dude, they just lost to North Carolina last weekend.
Pitt's actually had losses to pretty good teams though. I mean, Cincinnati, West Virginia, North Carolina. Those are all decently respectable teams. I think Pitt wins on the road. Virginia Tech's just a dumpster fire.
Yeah, I want for the sake of difference, I want to pick something else, but this is just not a safe bet at all. Give me West Virginia. Why am I saying West Virginia? Give me Pitt.
That's a huge, absolutely enormous rivalry. Pitt. Speaking of West Virginia, they're next on the list. They're 12.5-point dogs at TCU.
They're up 12.5.
Yeah, TCU's favored by 12.5.
Oh, okay. I think I'm gonna go with TCU. West Virginia has been on a pretty good run. They beat Pitt, but like not by much.
That's a rivalry game. That's always going to be close.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go with TCU.
I'm telling you, this TCU team's going to make some noise down the stretch, even though they lost that first game to Colorado.
They lost, but like that's not to say that they're a bad team or anything. I mean, they still got
really
guys from that national championship team on there. So
all right, San Diego State at Air Force. Air Force 4-0 and 10.5-point favorites.
San Diego State is 2-5. Just lost to Oregon State. They just lost to Boise State. They also lost to Oregon State though. Lost to UCLA earlier in the year. Yeah, give me Air Force.
Yeah. All
They're
right.
at home, so it probably won't be that bad.
Next, Alabama at Mississippi State. I'll say this: Mississippi State in that game against LSU like 2 weeks ago looked awful. I think they might be the okay. Like they've had to bring it. They've had to work in a new coach and some other stuff. This isn't really a lot of stuff. Isn't really their fault. They've looked like one of the worst teams in the SEC though.
Mississippi State.
I think Bama wins big.
Oh yeah.
I keep every time I like click on a team to look at who they've played, it brings me back to the top of the list.
Exactly. That's what it does for me too.
So I have to. Bama's favored by 14.5. I would slam that.
Yeah, give me Bama.
All right. Next we got Washington at Arizona.
I swear to God, if Bama comes back and bites me in the ass the second week in a row, I'm gonna be pissed.
If they lose to Mississippi State.
If they lose to Mississippi State, I'm gonna be pissed.
Next, Washington at Arizona.
What's Arizona even done? I feel like I asked that.
Their only loss is to Mississippi State, but they're still not a good team.
3-1.
I think Washington wins. Washington by
Yeah.
60. That offense is crazy.
Yeah, give me Washington.
I mean, I think Michael Penix is leading for the Heisman right now.
You think so?
I'd say so. I think he's looked like the best quarterback. He has 16 touchdowns to 2 picks, and he already has 1,636 yards.
It's pretty good.
All right. Next, we got Fresno, a ranked Fresno State at 25. Good for them. Playing, and I just realized this 0-4 Nevada team is pretty easy.
Yeah.
Nevada lost to Kansas,
really much of a
Idaho,
debate for this
Texas
one.
State, and USC. So, yeah.
Give me the dogs.
All right, and lastly, before we get to the 2 featured games, Baylor at UCF.
Baylor. UCF.
I don't really know what UCF has been up to. We know what Baylor's up to, but
UCF 3-1. They just lost last weekend to Kansas State.
Kansas State's really good though.
They beat Villanova. They beat Boise State and Kent State.
They were looking good before that game. They've looked better than Baylor, and they're at home. I'm taking Central Florida.
You taking Central Florida? Okay. What's Baylor done? Yeah.
Baylor's.
Give me UCF. Yeah.
All right.
There's too many teams to keep up with, so it's every single time I see them, I'm like, wait, what have you been up to?
I just know Baylor's been. This isn't even like me trying to pick. I just know that Baylor and Virginia Tech have been putrid this year.
Yeah.
It's because they're like usually pretty good and they've been awful. All right. The 2 featured games. First one, LSU at Ole Miss. These are 2 teams that really need a win, and more specifically an SEC win. Because, I mean, Ole Miss just lost to Bama. LSU's trying to rebound since that week 1 loss. Both teams need a win. Who gets it?
Oh, man.
LSU's
they
favored
both
by 2.
desperately need a
LSU's
win.
favored by 2.5.
I think I'm gonna. God, you know what? Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Ole Miss. I'm gonna try again with Ole Miss this week. They lost last week against Bama. They're gonna be hungry for another win. Their offense has been really, really good. They've scored a lot of points in every single game so far. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be a slugfest, but I'm gonna go with Ole Miss. They're at home, and I think they can pull it off. I think they can do it.
I agree. I'm also taking Ole Miss. I mean, yeah, they lost to Bama, but like that happens all the time. I love that they're at home this game. I absolutely love that. It is a pretty big rivalry. I mean, this is not to say that LSU is going to come out and just play terribly. I just think Ole Miss comes out with more energy this game. I think Jackson Dart lights up that LSU defense.
It's going to be a really good game.
It'll be a really good game, but I'm going to ride it. I like Ole Miss. I'm going to take the home team. Lastly, the game of the week. I don't think a lot of people expected this to be the game of the week going into the season.
Yeah, no.
College game day will be on their way to Durham, North Carolina, not for a Duke basketball game, but for a Duke football game. They are hosting Notre Dame, and the biggest Duke home game in a very long time.
Yeah.
They're ranked 17. Notre Dame pretty much just stayed the same. They're ranked 11.
They got good numbers, man. They're doing good this year. Like,
Notre Dame's favored by 6. Does Duke have what it takes to pull off another home upset?
I want to say yes, because I don't like Notre Dame. But I know that the Irish are going to be hungry after losing a nail biter to Ohio State. They're going to be angry about that final drive. They're going to be pissed off. So I think I'm going to go with Notre Dame for this one. But I would very much like to see Duke win this game. I think it's going to be a fun game, but I do think that the Irish are going to come out on top.
Well, I told the world that Duke was going to beat Clemson week 1, and they pulled through for me. I got to put my faith in them again, man. This is a tough Duke team.
I don't hate it, though.
This is a tough Duke team.
It's a bold pick,
They've
but I don't
blown
hate
out
it.
every team. The most points they've given up is 14 to Northwestern. They 7-7, 14-7, the defense. Yes, this is definitely going to be the best team they've played, but
How the fuck did they give up? That's the weirdest fact this week so far. They've played Clemson. They've played all these good teams. And the team that they've given up the most points against is Northwestern.
yeah. Well, the other two
Sorry.
teams they played were UConn and Lafayette. So I don't know how Notre Dame walks into this game with confidence because they had that game against Ohio State and completely blew it. I don't see how they don't have a letdown game here. They got to go immediately on the road to what's going to be a rocking environment because game day is going to be there and everything.
But the thing is that they're going to be looking to get back into the college football playoff conversation. Okay. They're going to be because before this Ohio State game, they were kind of on the outside of the conversation. They lost, and so they're going to try and prove themselves.
They're not going to make the playoff. They could go undefeated the rest of the year. They won't make the playoff because the teams at the top are so stacked.
Yeah,
and I think they're all better than Notre Dame, they're all man enough to join a conference.
What's even Notre Dame's schedule look like?
All the teams in front of Notre Dame are all man enough to join a conference.
Who all they got?
Duke's winning. I'm calling it right now. Duke's winning this game.
They play Clemson later. They
got USC too.
Oh, they do play USC. Yep, they play USC. They play Clemson. So they got a couple more decent games ahead of them, But yeah, they'd have to for them to be in consideration, they would have to blow out every single every single opponent from here on in. They would have to just absolutely annihilate them.
Yeah. All right. That is going to do it for this episode of Blue Two Buddies. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed. I'm one game behind Jackson in the standings, so we'll see if I can make that up. This week. Duke might have to come through again. Hope you guys enjoyed. Jackson, I'll leave you with any parting words.
I got nothing right now. I mean, check out all the other IUS TV podcast shows. We got a lot of them this year. We got 15 shows this semester, so
That's a lot of shows.
Check them out. We got a lot more content for you. A lot more sports shows as well. So check those out.
15 shows, one man producing all of them. Best in the business.
Trying to get some help right now. So,
all right.
But yeah, check out all the other iOS TV shows. Like I said, a lot of other sports shows. If you want to hear more sports takes and opinions and stuff like that, make sure to check those out. Got pop culture stuff on there as well. So we got a lot of fun stuff for you guys. So make sure to check all those shows out.
Take care, everyone.